From Science News, hyena like mammals from prehistoric Africa. From prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. Welcome to Creature Guide Live. Now, let's get into the animal news of the day. Paleontologists from the American University in Cairo and elsewhere say they have found an almost complete skull of the hyenodont Basterdodon sartros in the lower Oligocene layers of the Jebel Controni Formation, Egypt. So the hyenodonts were not hyenas. The thing is that hyenodont in Greek means hyena tooth. But in reality, these animals' closest relatives today are actually the small armored pangolins, which look nothing like hyenodonts. So the thing is that it's very likely that hyenodonts were very capable of crushing bone like today's hyenas. But when you look at something like a spotted hyena's skull structure, as well as a hyenodont, they have very distinct, just overall tooth arrangement, the overall robustness of the skulls. I'd say hyenas have a much more powerful overall bite and a complex chewing structure than hyenodonts did. Also, I mean, the hyenas had a 30 million year not head start, but just time to evolve in that specific area as well as intelligence. Basterdodon sartros lived during the Oligocene epoch some 30 million years ago in the lush forest of Fayum, Egypt, which is now home to a desert. Also, when it comes to Egypt, Egypt used to be an ocean. This area you would have had different species of cetacean roaming through. And then shortly afterwards, as sea levels receded, and you would have had different areas of forests as well as like even certain floodplains in the region. And it would have been home to a wide variety of different large mammals within the region. Also known as Pterodon sartros, the ancient species was about the weight of 27 kilograms of a hyena or leopard. Was about the weight of a hyena or leopard. So, 27 kilograms. That's a small. Well, okay. It depends on what species of hyena you're describing. If we're looking at something like a striped hyena, that would make sense. Or even, let's say, 27 kilograms. I'd say something like a Persian leopard. This would make sense. The animal had sharp teeth and powerful jaw muscles, suggesting a strong bite. Also, this specific individual wasn't too large of a hyenodont. The largest individuals could reach over 3,000 pounds. Yeah, so this was a bit of a snack for other types of hyenodonts. So they are contenders for the largest carnivores in history, or mammalian. It had a hypercarnivorous diet, likely preying on primates, early hippos, early elephants, and hyraxes. So the thing is, the true hippos and elephants had not evolved yet. The African elephant didn't evolve until somewhere around the mid to early Pleistocene epoch. So somewhere around 1 to 1.5 million years ago. Some instances, it's been suggested they've even been longer for like an extra million years. But looking at hippos, somewhere around 800,000 years ago to a million years ago is when the hippopotamus first evolved. So referring to the larger species. Not so sure about the pygmy hippo, but during this time, elephants also, well, the elephant family hadn't evolved. It had not evolved very distinct trunks or even tusks at this point. And hyraxes. The hyraxes during this time were huge. So these are a variety of the different species of the hyrax lineage of mammals that evolved during the Oligocene epoch. So this is specifically Megalohyrax, which possibly has been found in this specific formation. So this animal existed over in Africa about 30 million years ago and probably weighed somewhere around 2 to 300 pounds. It was quite a large member of the family, but not compared to the Titanohyrax. So we're talking somewhere around 700 to 800 pounds. And then the little Hyrax of today doesn't usually weigh much more than 11 pounds. So, Basterdodon sartros belongs to a species in an extinct group of carnivorous mammals called hyenodonts. Well, the thing is that hyenodonts isn't too It's not very specific. It's technically an order of mammals. They they first evolved somewhere around 40 to 50 million years ago during the Eocene epoch, and then would eventually go extinct somewhere around the Miocene, so somewhere around 20 million years ago. And for the most part, seems that they were carnivorous. Hyenodonts evolved long before modern day carnivores such as cats, dogs, and hyenas. Well, if you're talking about like Felidae, Canidae, definitely when it comes to Canidae, they were around much earlier. Felidae, that's probably true too. Felidae was somewhere around 30 to 40 million years ago when they first started evolving. And when it comes to hyenas, they were also much later in time, probably somewhere towards the late Miocene epoch, so over 11 million years ago. These predators with hyena-like teeth hunted in African ecosystems after the extinction of the dinosaurs. Well, obviously, we're talking about the Oligocene epoch. I mean, this is somewhere around 36 million years after the dinosaurs went extinct. The skull of Bastardodon sartros was unearthed in the Jebel Conturani Formation, Fayum Depression. For days, our team meticulously excavated layers of rock dating back around 30 million years. So at this time, so you had a wide variety of different members of the Hyenodontidae lineage of carnivorous mammals. So this is a smaller individual. This is Falcatodon. This animal was probably somewhere around 50 to 60 pounds and probably preyed on different smaller species of mammals, maybe even going after different species of mollusks. This individual, it's a good drawing, but it's giving it definitely a much more almost like civet like look. So that's a distinct species of mammal that you can find in different areas of southern Europe, even different parts of Asia. Tends to prey on smaller species of mammals as well as amphibians. So this is one of the largest species of hyenadontid to exist. So this is Simbak ubwa, and Simbak ubwa was somewhere around 2,500 to 3,200 pounds. It was preying on the early um, hippos, possibly even the elephants within this area. So you had animals such as Phiomia, Moratherium, and the Paleomastodon, which existed within Africa and possibly Asia at this point, definitely in the northern part of Africa. It's very possible that also this specific hyenodont was a solitary hunter and just didn't have the need for a pack, partially due to its immense size. This is not a close relative of the rhino, despite the way it looks. This is actually a much more close relative of the elephant. So this is Arsinoitherium. And this animal, despite it not being very closely related, is about the size of a southern white rhino. So we're talking somewhere around 2.5 tons and probably around 15 to 20 feet in length. And yes, these horns were very likely used for defense as well as fighting each other during the breeding season. Okay, so just as we were about to conclude our work, a team member spotted something remarkable, a set of large teeth sticking out of the ground. His excited shout brought the team together, marking the beginning of an extraordinary discovery, a nearly complete skull of an ancient apex carnivore, a dream for any vertebrate paleontologist. Yes, that is very true. The Fayum is one of the most important fossil areas in Africa, well, especially regarding Oligocene. It is so somewhere around 34 to 25 million years ago when regarding the Oligocene epoch. Even though technically this specific formation goes further forward in time, so possibly to the beginning stage of the Miocene epoch, so somewhere around 22 million years ago. Without it, we would know very little about the origins of African ecosystems and the evolution of African mammals like elephants, primates, and hyenodonts. So, well, also within this region, so this is this is another member of the hyenodont lineage, though this specific creature, um, had a much more otter-like lifestyle. Even its overall look was probably something closer to an otter, despite it being part of the Hyaenodonta lineage. Also, Apterodon was probably around 100 to 200 pounds, and I believe it's somewhere around 7 to 8 feet in length. So it was probably going after a medium-sized species of mammals at this time, even young Arsinoitherium. You even had in the nearby ocean the one of the members of the Dugongadae family of marine mammals. So this is technically a manatee of this time. So this is Halotherium, and Halotherium could have weighed somewhere around 4 to 5,000 pounds, and was probably feeding on a variety of different species of seagrass. Now, mentioning the distinct origins of the African ecosystems at this point, the Oligocene was a big change for most of the Earth. You were seeing massive expanses of grassland occurring, and this is around the time when true grasses related to today's species of grasses first evolved. Types of grasses that earlier mammals, as well as even the dinosaurs, didn't have the ability to chew, more or less digest. The discovery of Basteodon is a significant achievement in understanding the diversity and evolution of hyenodonts and their global distribution. We are eager to continue our research to unravel the intricate relationships between these ancient predators and their environments over time and across continents. In their research, the authors also reevaluated a group of lion sized hyenodonts that was discovered in the rocks of the Fayum over 120 years ago. Oh, wow. They established a new hyenodont genus, Secmatops, to redescribe the 33.8 million year old material. They demonstrated Basterdodon and Suchomatops both belong to a group of hyenodonts that actually originated in Africa. Oh, and so real quick, this is one of the largest herbivores in the area. So this is specifically Paleomastodon, which is an early relative of the members of the Mastodon family that would occur later in the Miocene as well as the Pliocene and Pleistocene epochs. So I'm not sure whether or not Paleomastodon was a distinct predecessor to these animals. You also had the other early elephants in the region, such as Moratherium and Phiomia, but more Ethereum might have weighed somewhere around 2 to 300 pounds. It was much smaller than this specific individual. It's a big debate as to what their distinct tusks would have been used for. This is something that you see in a variety of different mastodons, even mastodon-like elephants. I'm just using the term elephant just over the just referring to the overall family of this branch of mammals. They could have been used to scoop up aquatic vegetation. They might have been even used for rubbing off bark from trees when referring to just the specific uses of the tusks. Let's see, possibly even digging up roots or tubers. It's a really big guess. Also, even like the distinct use of the trunk, but it's very possible it might have been quite flexible, like today's elephants, or even to piers. So, the relatives of Basterdodon and Secmotops spread from Africa in multiple waves, eventually making it to Asia, Europe, India, and North America. By 18 million years ago, some relatives of these hyenodonts were among the largest mammalian meat eaters to ever walk the planet. However, cataclysmic changes in global climate and tectonic changes in Africa opened the continent to the relatives of modern cats, dogs, and hyenas. Yeah, that is interesting, right? When members of Felidae, Canidae, and even the hyena lineage, the true hyenas, first evolved is when you see this massive decline in the hyenodont lineage. So, also around 18 million years ago is towards the end, like the very end of the lineage. So I think I was thinking for a second, um, like back to 30 million years ago. I forgot that we were over in the Miocene. As environments and prey changed, the specialized carnivorous hyenodonts diminished in diversity, finally going extinct and leaving our primate relatives to face a new set of antagonists. That's not a way to end it. 18 million years ago. I mean, that's far before any like human like hominids first evolved. But I'm not an expert in. I'm not an anthropologist. So Um, let me know in the comments what your favorite species of legacy mammal is. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guide Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share the show with everyone you know, because nothing is better than all animals all the time.